What would you do if you could change anything about survival Minecraft simply by adding new tools? This isn't a hypothetical, but instead is a real discussion myself and Agent Mindstorm, the creator of Console Aspects, had over many months, and the end result is Toycat's Toolkit. This is a brand new add-on which is available right now as of today, and you can get it at this very moment. And I could just say, yeah, make sure you check out the guidebook, but I want to show you every single item inside of this add-on so that before you buy it, you know exactly what is inside, and so you know exactly what to do, because this is your ultimate guide to Toycat's Toolkit, or indeed Toycat's Tool Guide. And yes, my G looks like a 6, but you know what doesn't look like a 6? The book that you'll get as the very first thing, because this is a vanilla style add-on. We try to make things fit into a real legit long-term survival world if you want to do that. However, it does have a book just like every other add-on. This is a requirement by Mojang, and it will summarize everything you need to learn. You get one when you join the world, but you can also craft one just like so. This is delightful, but this video is here for people who don't want to read, or at least who would rather learn from seeing something in reality. And so let's start with one of my favorite improvements that's been done many times before. A lot of this is very unique, but this is something I'll fully concede has been done so often, just poorly. The multi-tool is something that every add-on or mod creator thinks is a good idea. What if you could combine some tools together? In this case, we pick the 4 non-sword tools from your hotbar, and we create a combination of all of them, but instead of saying this is the most OP thing, it has no durability, and once you have it, there'd be no reason to have the individual tools. No, in exchange for being able to have 4 tools in one slot, you actually get a slight debuff, which is a 20% penalty to your mining. That is to say, a diamond shovel would mine this 20% faster, a diamond pickaxe would mine this 20% faster, and a diamond axe would mine this 20% faster. But in exchange for that, you don't have to switch tools between mining jobs, and also you can free up 4 spaces on your hotbar. This is the actual benefit of the multi-tool, and I have no shame in saying that for some people it's not perfect, but that's the point of Minecraft. If you make something so OP that everyone just needs it, then I think you've defeated the point of an add-on. And I would say the only one of these which is maybe super useful is the stone tool one. If you know you're upgrading to iron tool soon and you're going to individually do that, having a stone multi-tool for everything else might be a great way to save inventory slots, so you can just have your iron axe and pickaxe while keeping your shovel and your hoe effectively tied together. That might be something you have some value in, but ultimately I think the multi-tool is great. At low levels it's useful, at high levels it works too, and you can even choose to enchant it just like every other tool. This is another thing I noticed so many add-ons getting wrong. I think that a tool isn't a tool unless you can enchant it, and so you can put fortune and efficiency on it, making it up for its many shortcomings by allowing it to be the ultimate mining tool, but also the ultimate chopping tool and the ultimate shoveling tool. Speaking of shoveling, I now need to move on from this, which is one of my favorite things by far, into one of the most unique missed opportunities Mojang have ever had, which is the crossbow. The crossbow just fires the same arrows as a regular bow, which is great. People like the regular bow, but they like the regular bow too much, and if they shoot all the same arrows, why would you use a crossbow? Many players don't, but I think when you learn about the heavy crossbow, you'll want to use it. So this is effectively a way to create new bolts that will effectively only work on the heavy crossbow. It will not shoot regular arrows, instead it has to shoot bolts, of which there are 3, and yes, this is my favorite, but we'll come into it last, because first of all, I want to talk about the Gust Bolt. The Gust Bolt is very fun here. You can put the Gust Bolt in your off slot, or you can just have it in your inventory. It'll work just the same if it's in the top right most slot, like regular bows, but the Gust Bolt will allow you to fire yourself into the air because you're effectively launching a wind charge towards the ground at great speeds. You can do this kind of diagonally if you want to, in a way that's way more fun in my opinion, and I really love the Gust Bolt, but it's not your only bolt choice. You also have the Ore Bolt. This is a bolt that specifically targets ores, and so imagine you come across a big ore vein. Let's imagine it's diamonds even. I just had to load out the last Gust Bolt there, and let's fire an Ore Bolt at that diamond vein, and boom! Isn't that delightful? Now, in reality, you can't find diamond veins this big. If you did, you wouldn't use it on them because you'd want to use your fortune tool, but I think when you find a bunch of other dumb blocks that you just don't care about, being able to eliminate them with a single stroke using a bolt that is targeted specifically to ores is just delightful. And you know what else is delightful? I think the Blast Bolt is the one that I think everyone has been asking for forever, and here's why. The ability to launch TNT at a distance is something people have made cannons for, and people have wanted to have in the game, but what if there was was a better way? Well, this is the Blast Bolt, which does precisely that. Now, the Blast Bolt is something that's very hard to balance. Mojang, I assume, haven't done it because they're worried about people griefing from across the world, and also from people using this over TNT, but this is about as strong as a TNT blast, just you can detonate it from a medium distance. I say medium because we deliberately made it, just like the combat update does for bows, we made it so even at medium distances, you're going to notice that the bows start to get some real inaccuracy, making it quite hard to actually hit, say, the tail on the Ocelot, and if you want to aim at people's bases, which are across the world, you're not going to be able to do that. I think that that is too destructive of a power, and I think we haven't given it for exactly that reason, and so instead, if you want to launch at things, they have to be nearby, and even then, there's a little bit of accuracy, making it great for demolitions. If you want to destroy a house, let's say a villager doesn't give you the right trade, you can go in here and you can make sure that he regrets it, but you're not going to be able to do so from across the world. Although I'm going to target that guy over there just to see what no, I missed him, you see. The Blast Bolt is, I think, intricately balanced, and yes, sometimes that means you have to make something weaker than it otherwise could be, but every single tool in this add-on is built under that assumption. The strongest one, I would argue, is perhaps the Cage Carrier. This is an item that allows you to move a monster spawner, trial spawner, or vault. This is something that many people have been asking for, and I felt like would be OP, but again, after discussing with Agent, the idea is that, like, realistically, XP farms have long since stopped revolving around mob spawners because they're just not that good anymore, but what if you could make them good? Well, if we had some cobblestone, some mossy cobblestone to be precise, and we have a cage carrier, I can show you. So you can use a mossy cobblestone block, place it on top of your cage, and then break it. This is there to just make sure you can't, break the mob spawner instead of defeating it. When you first go into a dungeon, you should still have to defeat the zombies before you can take it with you, and then you can put that spawner down somewhere you actually want it to be, so your XP farms can be slightly closer to home. Or indeed, if you find you're not at the mercy of having a good seed, if you want a double spawner, this is something a lot of people find to be very frustrating. No, you can make your own double spawners by moving the blocks around. Now, obviously, this does apply to trial spawners and to vaults, and I think that this is something that is very, very, very nutty, does have to be said, but it is something that is there because a lot of people find their nearest trial chambers is 2,000 blocks away because of old updates. Being able to fix that using this is just great. Speaking of fixing things from old updates, the next idea is one that I am unashamedly saying we stole from Mojang because they didn't implement it themselves. So this is 8 snowballs and a phantom membrane to make the Cloud Pellet, and yes, that is very expensive, I'll concede, but it's one of the most powerful items you can have because Cloud Pellets allow you to place blocks in the middle of the air. That's the first time I failed that parkour. Had to be while I was actually recording the video, not during the test runs of putting it all there. But the Cloud Pellet is really delightful because you can place it in midair. This is really, really fun, so let's grab a few, because you can then also use it to brew. But let me show you why this is so good. If you haven't played around with the April Fool's Poisonous Potato Snapshot, basically having floating blocks allows you to place blocks around a bit really, really simply. And this is something that right now requires a lot of placeholder blocks that you just won't need after this. You can place blocks in midair like that, or you can use them for a little fun parkour, and if you really like that fun parkour, and maybe want something more akin to a water bucket, these are the Cloud Capsules. So I'm going to stack myself up just a little bit, and I'm going to try and simulate a little bit of a fall. Oh no! There's the Cloud Capsule. Oh no, there's another fall. There's the Cloud Capsule. The Cloud Capsule was a pain to create. A lot of the earlier versions just weren't feeling great, and maybe that's the reason Mojang haven't done this themselves. It is a very tricky block to get working right, but this does work as a way to prevent your full damage when you are going through it, and I just think it's really fun to be able to create your own parkour in midair, which you can just kind of do for fun if you ever just find yourself roaming around a world doing parkour at 1 AM. I feel like creating your own parkour is just so satisfying, and you need to give it a try if you haven't already. Speaking of giving something a try, here is one of the other fun ideas that I had, which is the idea of like, look, boats in Minecraft need to be better, but as it turns out, you can't alter existing Minecraft items using add-ons. And so instead we had to make a new boat, but rather than just calling it Boat 2 or something like that, which I think would have been lame, instead we have created the Shield Skiff. You might recognize this as being vaguely reminiscent of the modern 3D Zelda games, but the idea of sliding on a shield is super, super fun, and this is basically a boat that fixes all of the problems. The simplest one being, the boat has 25 health, on Bedrock for some reason. It has a weird... You have to punch it so many times. Nope, one time with this. Also, this could be going on land. Not quite as fast as something, but it's not quite as fast as walking, but it still works on land. But it doesn't work in water because it's not a boat. Instead, it's designed for these situations right here. If you have momentum and you head towards a block, you can actually slide up that block. Look at this right here. You can actually slide up a block, which is something that boats have annoyingly not been able to do at any elevation unless there's a tiny flow of water between them. This means that if you want to make really fun ice tracks, like you see in all those silly Freebird shorts, you can do precisely that, and I love the shield skiff. It is one of my favorite parts of this entire thing, and it is reasonable to craft using just 2 shields. We contemplated putting a heavy core in there at one point, but I'm glad that we kept it nice and obtainable, because this is a better boat for the early game, but it doesn't make the boat pointless. You still need a boat for water, but if you're riding on blue ice, this is the way. Speaking of this is the way, there is now some substantial additions to the end I want to talk about, and they all come from Endscry Ore. This will generate in lower levels of the end islands, and it will generate there when you are in new chunks. This is a really major change, but I wanted to make sure that 1, it fits into your world, and that 2, it has a reason for existing. I think that an end update needs to be carefully considered, and so the end update that I decided with, and I think that Agent Mindstorm agrees is a great idea, is by using these blocks of Endscry. So these are just what you can craft from it. If you just want blocks, you can do that, or by using Endscry as an alternative to the Diamond to Netherite upgrade path. So Diamond to Netherite is the current system, and Netherite is just Diamond, but better in odd ways, not protection, and Endscry Armour does that, but for iron. If you have Crying Obsidian, you do have to master the Nether 2. If you have Crying Obsidian and Iron, which spawns very frequently in End cities, and combine it with your Endscry like this, you can make yourself these pieces of armor. So let's equip some right now, shall we? This is one of my favorite things to do. And let's show you what Endscry Armour actually does for you. Because every piece has its own unique effect, the Endscry Helmet is specifically good for seeing things better when you're below 0. Effectively, it's like a cave mining helmet, if you will. This is a really fun, goofy thing by itself. But do you know what else is fun? By the way, I should have had the Spinneret at that point. I'm coming back into this later. This is by far the best item in the entire add-on, and I will fight anyone who disagrees with that. But yeah, the Endscry Helmet gives you night vision. The Endscry Chestplate will teleport the player, unless you're jumping or crouching, when you take damage. This is a crazy thing if a zombie teleports you. As you can see, one just did right there. It's absolutely nuts what that leads to, so I'm actually going to have to mine myself back in. And by the way, you can see the diamond multi-tool coming in clutch here, because look at that. I can mine through stone and sand and dirt using the same tool. It's worth taking the downside, in my opinion. Also, it's just as good as an axe in terms of combat, so another great value to it. But yeah, with that said, the fun thing about the Endscry Chestplate is it will teleport you around, whereas the Endscry the boots will allow you to run faster on Endstone. It's like Soul Speed, but instead of damaging your boots drastically, it just kind of works. And then Endscry Leggings will give you jump boost, because obviously it's lighter armor, you can jump higher while wearing it, just like you could if you were attached to, say, the levitation effect, which is famous from this dimension. Next up, I have one of the most crazy parts of this add-on. This is something that, again, I've seen done before, but never tastefully. I think that if you are going to have these powerful tools, so you can upgrade your armor, like I have, but you can also upgrade your tools, and the way we've upgraded the tools is a very, very, very strong way, but it's a way that you do have to go to the end for, get the Endscry for, and let's show you what what it looks like. So if you have one of these tools, they are called colossal versions of themselves. So this is, sorry, I think my ex-girlfriend has ended up in this video, but the important thing here is that if we look through here, you can see that we've got a colossal shovel, which you can use to mine 3x3 blocks at a time. So it does only have the ability off an iron tool, and it will, as you can see right here, result in some issues when using gravity-affected blocks, but you can mine a 3x3 hole through the world using these colossal tools, and I think that's just so delightful. Here's the hoe, and in case you think to yourself, like, oh, so now that I've done the hoe, I should be able to use the axe, right? I mean, it's a 3x3 area. I actually want to give something, an important PSA about how we designed this, because the axe is not just there to be, so here's my colossal axe. I didn't have to run all the way back here. An important PSA is that planks are not the block this is designed to work on. Instead, this works on logs. If you want to use this, you're going to need to have some logs, and it's very delightful for that, because the colossal axe and the colossal hoe and the colossal shovel and the colossal pickaxe are all just delightful tools, but they represent the end of this add-on. Wait, no it doesn't! I was trying to save the best part of the add-on till last, and I actually forgot to share it. This is the Spinneret, and it is by far my favourite part of Toycat's toolkit, and again, saving the best till last is exactly the logic here, because this is a underrepresented part of Minecraft's movement philosophy that they just just haven't really played around with. So the Spinneret effectively works like a grappling hook, bringing you closer towards whatever you throw it towards. This effectively allows it to be a ender pearl-like tool, as you can see, that is represented in the design here, and what's really fun about this is it's not meant to be a replacement for the Elytra, or a replacement for the Happy Gas, or a replacement for any other tool, but instead it can work alongside these in a really great way. You can use it to get some speed to then start flying, or you can use it as an alternative, because if you're flying between this point and that, it might not work very well. You can see it's kind of messy, it's not a great fly, whereas the Spinneret just allows you to go straight over there, and it works great. Honestly, it's really great for horizontal travel, or it's great for travel where you have to go a little bit horizontal and a little bit vertical. I absolutely love the Spinneret, and it's got a real skill curve to using it correctly, but that's exactly why I love it so much. It's not designed to be the perfect tool, it's meant to be one of the most fun tools for getting around, and everyone I've shown this add-on to already, oh no, has said exactly the same thing. And so at this point I want to say, this is everything that you'll find in Toycat's Toolkit if you download it today. However, all add-ons we create, including Boss Blitz, by the way, we're currently working on some very fun things with the Amethyst Golem if you want to see the new animation there. But every single add-on we create, the goal is to update, and so given that there's going to be an update to this, I want to make sure that it fits the style of everything else. It's a vanilla feeling decent add-on, and so rather than just using my best ideas and Agent Mindstorm's best ideas, what do you think Minecraft could really do with that would actually fit into a vanilla game update? What would you love to see in Minecraft? Leave it in a comment down below, and we'll look at the top 10 comments by upvotes, or by YouTube's top comment system, and off the top 10, if they are feasible, if they fit, you know, I'm going to be unashamedly saying it has to be vanilla style, it has to fit the toolkit, but I will take one of those 10 ideas, and if it is possible, we will add it to the 1.1 update, which we'll make as soon as is possible. This is something I'm really excited about. I've never done it before. I had to get, I asked for Agent Mindstorm's approval. I'm very excited, but yeah, this is a really, really cool thing to finally have. I've been complaining about Minecraft balance for literally years now, and to be able to fix it, or to be able to improve it and have a fun experience for any players who want it, is such a delight, and I hope that all of you are excited to play around with it. Here are all of the items found in 1.0, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this progresses in the future, but for now, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and indeed, let me know if you want to maybe have access to this fun mini-game style tutorial world that Chris built. I love it a lot. Thank you to him for building it. Thank you to Agent Mindstorm for, I'm going to be entirely honest here, the overwhelming majority of the coding work on the Toycat's Toolkit. He did a very, very, very good job with it, and I'm excited to see how that goes in the future. But for now, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Wait, actually, I should get myself attacked, shouldn't I? That's the logical way to end this one. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you... Come on. Next time. Goodbye.